cloudy and cold Tuesday morning in Northeast Ohio. Welcome, everybody, into the Bullpen. It's a Bull and Fox edition, live with you on this Tuesday morning. Dustin, back from the cruise and back to the cold weather. How you doing today, pal?
I'm doing good, man. It stinks to be back in Ohio after spending 7 days in the Caribbean, where it was 80 and sunny every day. But no, it's cool to be back. It's nice to be back home with my friends and family. But I'll tell you what, I miss the weather, dude. I mean, it's crazy. Like just the way you feel in the morning. When you go outside and you feel the sun, it's just like, I don't know, something about it, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never lived in a warm weather place. You haven't really either.
No. I mean,
all the teams you played for were cold weather teams.
Yeah. Philly, Buffalo, and Minnesota.
And Ohio State.
Yeah, sure.
So neither of us has lived in a warm weather place, but I would imagine it's just a different life that way. I wonder if on average people are in better health if they live in good weather. Now for sure. There's downside to good weather too. You're more risk of sun exposure and kind of cancers, skin cancers, and that type of stuff. But in terms of health, in terms of your weight, in terms of heart stuff, I bet you it's probably better if you live somewhere warm.
The sun in general is really good for you. Now you got to be careful to do too much exposure to it, but right. Just think about it. Like put a plant in the middle of the winter in Ohio.
Yeah,
it's gonna die.
That's true.
And in the sun, it's gonna go woof.
Yeah, and that's why we appreciate when the weather is nice.
No doubt.
It's going to be in the 60s a couple of days today. I saw it early next week. I think a week from today, it's supposed to be 70, which is going to be crazy.
Oh, yeah.
But it ebbs and flows at this time of the year. March and April, you have some nice days, some bad days. So we make it through till things get nice in May. A lot to get to today. As you know, we are less than a week away from free agency beginning. The tampering period begins on Monday, March the 9th. Which is 6 days away. And then a week from tomorrow, March 11th, at I believe 4 p.m., is when the league officially starts. So we'll talk about this Browns trade in a second. The Browns made this trade with the Texans, but that trade is not official until probably March 11th, when it's the first day of the new league year. I believe it's March 9th at noon. The teams can start unofficially talking and signing with free agents, although we know some of that stuff is already happening unofficially. So let's begin with the trade the Browns made yesterday, Dustin. They acquire an offensive lineman, obviously one of their biggest weaknesses. They acquire right tackle Tytus Howard from the Houston Texans for a 5th-round pick. And then the Browns have also reportedly, according to Ian Rappaport, signed Howard to a 3-year, $63 million extension, putting him under team control for the next 4 years. Now, the good and bad with Tytus Howard. The good, he's played a lot of games. He started a lot of games, which is much better than most of the players the Browns have. He's 29, so he's not old. He's not young, but he's not old. He's huge. He's 6'5", 325, so big dude. And he's been an excellent pass blocker. For people who care about these type of things, his PFF grade in pass blocking was a 77-1, which was the 17th best out of 89 tackles. Now, the bad news is you just paid a lot of money to a guy who is getting to 30. Again, not old, but you never know. And he was not good against the run last year. He had a PFF grade against the run of 50.7, which was 79th out of 89 tackles. So top 20 in pass blocking, bottom 10 in run blocking. Again, if you don't like PFF, I guess you could take it with a grain of salt. But when you put it all in the bag, what do you make of this move that the Browns made?
Well, it's a win, I think, in terms of like draft flexibility.
Yeah.
Because now you're looking at, you got more options, I think, at the top of the draft. You don't have to force a tackle selection early. So you can decide if you want to go receiver, or maybe defensive line, or whatever it may be, where you want to, add. You can truly go best player available if you want to, if you're the Browns. I would say that the concern is, as you mentioned, the durability, of this guy. He's 30. He's going to be 30 years old. Like it's a bit of a concern. You're paying starter money for the guy. You know what I mean? So like the guy, you expect him to play 14 to 17 games this season. So that's something that's important. You mentioned the contract extension. That's the one that could be, could bite you in the ass a little bit because it's a lot of money.
Yeah.
However, that's the going rate for like a mid-tier.
It is.
So it's not like they're overpaying the guy. If the guy starts, like I said, 14 to 17 games for you and plays adequate, that's what it costs to have that guy. So that's not a big deal.
Yeah. I don't know that we know what the guaranteed money is. That also makes a big difference. My guess is he doesn't have much guaranteed beyond next year, I would say. Probably 26 and 27. It's probably most, if not all, guaranteed. My guess is he doesn't have a lot after that, but obviously I don't know for sure. The one thing he's been is very durable for the most part. He did miss some time in the 2023 season, but the last 2 years, besides the 23 season, in the last 4 years, he's played 49 of a possible 51 games. He missed 10 games in 23, but only 2 games combined between 22, 24, and 25. And it's possible the one game he's missed the last 2 years that he was just sitting because of they had clinched a playoff spot or something. I don't even know. So he hasn't been hurt really. He's missed time due to injury once really in the last 4 years. So that's good. And as I said, he's 29 years old. He will turn 30 before the season. So in theory, you'll have him for his age 30, 31, 32, and 33 seasons. Again, not young, but not too old. If you're a decent offensive lineman, you can usually play at an adequate level into your mid-30s. And again, his last year of this deal would be at age 33. And I think it's very likely that at least the last year of the deal they can get out of. The most important thing here to me, and overall I like it. There's some concern about his run blocking and whatever. He's the best player they now have on the offensive line.
Yeah, and when you think about Shedeur Sanders, and trying to truly evaluate this player and find out if he can be a starting quarterback in this league, like if you're gonna, try to see if he can give it, he's gonna be the starter from week 1, hopefully.
Yeah, probably.
And you give him a veteran on the right side, like someone who's been playing in this league for a long time. You said it. I mean, he's your best offensive lineman.
Yeah.
Right
now. There's no doubt about it. He overall on his PFF grade, he's listed as the 58th, tackle out of 89, which is not amazing, but it's starting caliber. He's clearly a starter. He's been a starter basically his whole career. Every game he's played 93 games since 2019, all as a starter. So he's been consistently a starter after he was the 23rd overall pick by the Texans in 2019. They didn't want to pay. They've jettisoned 2 offensive linemen. I've seen mixed reviews. John McClain, who is like the dean of Texans beat reporters, he said this was a great trade by the Browns. Somebody was on with Nick and Jonathan yesterday, said they didn't like it. I can't. Was it Seth Walder? I don't remember who it was. I should have written it down. But anyway, they said they didn't think it was a good move. But John McClain knows the Texans better than anybody. Yeah. And so if he thinks it's a good trade, I'm going to lean towards him. And you gave up a 5th-round pick, which is not without value, but you're not going to get a player, again, even if you look at him as an average right tackle. Well, A, that's way better than what you had there. And B, to even get an average starter in the 5th round of the draft is not likely. I mean, how many 5th-round picks are average NFL starters? Not a high percentage.
I think it's a really good move.
Yeah.
I do think it's got higher reward versus the risk.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a move that like good teams make. I mean, you have yourself, I think, a legitimate starter. I don't know if he's going to be a top 10 right tackle in the league. Probably not.
Yeah.
Who cares, dude? Like, it's hard to find those guys.
Yeah.
And if he's top 10, you got him at a bargain at the 3 or 63. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
It's not the sexiest move in the world. It's not a flashy move, but it is a necessity. I mean, they had to make something like this, and it gives them a little bit more flexibility, I think, in the draft.
Yep.
At the top, certainly.
I think there's less, I mean, I don't know if the Browns were going to be affected by they desperately need an offensive lineman in terms of the draft. Maybe it takes some pressure off them taking a tackle. I think what's interesting is the two guys we've heard most at the top of the draft is Mayuga. I'm probably screwing up his name. And who's the other guy we keep hearing? Is it Freeling? No, I think there was somebody else. Hold on.
At the top of the draft?
Yeah.
I have a list of the.
Oh, Spencer Fano. That's it. The two names we've heard most, Spencer Fano and Mayuga, both those guys really seem like right tackles. And so I think they're less likely to, the Browns have not had a lot of luck trying to move a guy positions, and trying to make a right tackle a left tackle with a guy you draft top 10 is a risky business. We saw it with they didn't draft him in the top 10, but we saw it with DeJuan Jones. It didn't, obviously he was a disaster at left tackle. Jed Wills, they try, and it didn't really work.
Didn't they draft a kid from Florida State years ago, and who was a center, and they tried to move him around? I forget his name.
Cam Irving? No.
Was it Cam Irving? I don't know. I think it was actually.
Maybe.
Right. It doesn't matter. But they've drafted. You're right. They drafted players on the line that didn't play the position that we need.
Yeah.
So I prefer them to draft. Like, if you're going to take a left tackle, go get the guy that played left tackle the best this year in football.
Speaking of which, it's mock draft season, obviously, even though free agency is right around the corner, 7 weeks, whatever, before the draft is here. And in the latest mock draft on ESPN, this one from Jordan Reed, we had Jordan Reed on UCSS. I like him. He had the Browns taking an offensive lineman. He has the Browns taking an offensive lineman, Monroe Freeling, who hasn't been talked as much about left tackle. But he says Freeling's stock has skyrocketed since the end of the offseason, or at the end of the season. At 6'7", 315, he's one of the few true left tackles of this class. He's also an excellent athlete who excels in space and on the move. His size and upside and athletic traits have prompted multiple teams to rank him as the top offensive tackle at the Combine. The Browns have 6 offensive linemen hitting free agency and need help across the board, even after Monday's trade for Tytus Howard. So he's suggesting they draft Monroe Freeling out of Georgia. Do you know much about him?
I do not. I didn't do any Georgia games this year, and he's an offensive lineman.
Yeah. I mean, how much? But I don't know how good he's going to be. I like the fact that he's a true left tackle. If you're going to draft a guy in the top 10.
Have you been watching much at the Combine, if any?
A little bit, but no.
I always forget it's on.
Yeah. But what do we learn? Like, the truth is, people make such a big deal about all these measurables, and I know everybody's going nuts about Sonny Styles. We already knew Sonny Styles was going to be a great player or we think he's going to be a great player in the NFL. Like, the idea that some of his numbers were better and now we got to draft him higher, it's never, to me, the important stuff at the Combine is the stuff we don't get to see, which is interviews and medicals, and those are the important things that the teams find out. How high they can, I don't know. I think we make too much. Sometimes these workout warriors end up being busts in the NFL. We've seen it time and time again. John Ross was that guy. Who was that wide receiver? There was a wide receiver the Chiefs drafted. I can't think of his name. Vernon Golston. No, was it Vernon? Not Vernon Golston.
Golston was the Jets, who had a great workout.
Yeah. And if the guy didn't do it on film, obviously some people get better as you go to college. I mean, as you go to the pros, I get it. But if you're just drafting a guy higher just because his workout was impressive, that doesn't make you a great football player. That makes you great at working out. I don't know. I think people are too obsessed with that. And maybe the teams aren't. Maybe that's just the fans that are obsessed with that thing. But anyway, in this mock draft, he had Freeling going 6th to the Browns. Then he had the Browns at 24, taking Omar Cooper Jr. from Indiana. He's the wide receiver. I haven't heard him talked about that much as a first-round pick. He has, obviously, the other wide receivers going a little earlier, including Jordan Tyson at 21 to the Steelers. What do you think of Omar Cooper Jr.? Is he worthy of a late first-round pick?
I mean, it's what they say, right? I mean, they say he's worthy of a late first round pick. I mean, I don't know, dude. I mean, a lot of these guys I just haven't covered a ton.
Yeah. He had 13 touchdowns, 937 yards in Indiana this year. Obviously, they were a very good team. They won the national title. He had 69 catches. So yeah, he had a good season. I mean, especially touchdown-wise. But you never know how it's going to translate.
There's a lot of good receivers in this draft.
Yeah.
I mean, what are they saying about Tate?
He has Tate going in the top 10. He has him going 9 to the Chiefs. So he's got, in terms of Buckeyes, Arvell Reese going 2 to the Jets.
Okay.
He's got Sonny Styles going 5 to the Giants, Caleb Downs going 7 to the Commanders, and Carnell Tate going 9 to the Chiefs. I'm sure he'd love that.
You think the Browns will take a receiver high? Is that?
I think
you declared your prediction or what you want your like draft wish list.
I think I know some people are down on Carnell Tate because he didn't run a great time. I don't know. Ohio State Buckeyes just put out one good wide receiver at the next. They never bust in recent years. I mean, that doesn't guarantee anything, but I think Carnell Tate is a safe pick. I mean, is he going to be elite? I don't know. And you want to get an elite player at 6. I get it. But he seems to me like I like that the floor is pretty high with him, and I think he's going to be a very good player. I would be, if they take an offensive lineman at 6, I get it. But I would still lean towards Carnell Tate, even though he's not the fastest guy. There's plenty of great receivers that are not super fast.
Yeah, and the other thing you have to remember, dude, is like almost every receiver that's been drafted in the last X amount of years that have been coached by Brian Hartline, come to the league ready to go. And
100%
prepare. So like even if like there are guys who maybe are faster or can jump higher or whatever, those guys didn't get the knowledge and tutelage from Brian Hartline, a guy who played in the league, who's coached at a high level, been around it for a long time. I mean, all these guys come to the NFL and are ready to go from day one. Period.
And if Carnell Tate was not good enough to play in the NFL, or I shouldn't say not good enough. Obviously, he's good enough to play in the NFL. But to me, if he was not good enough to be a first-round pick, with all the talent the Buckeyes have at that position, like he wouldn't have been starting.
Right.
They would have started someone else if he wasn't that caliber of player, I think.
Like basically, that depth chart at Ohio State, if you're a starter, you're probably like a first-round pick.
Yeah, sir, and certainly at wide receiver, which is
that's what I'm saying. I mean, receiver specifically, other positions or whatever, but like receiver specifically, like I don't know how many guys do they have in that room that play. That guy started over all the other young guys. I mean, I don't know. I think it says a lot based on the history.
No doubt. Let's get some comments from the fans here. Last call says, good morning, Bull and Fox emojis. B Skrill's the same. Rob7321 says, are you guys worried about Downs' ligament problems? Do you think he drops to your Bengals? I'm not worried about his ligament problems. I hope he drops to the Bengals, and I hope they take him.
Yeah, certainly. I'm not a doctor. I mean, if your team drafts Downs, they're going to know everything about the guy.
So here's what happened. This was at the combine.
He's possibly a degenerative ACL or something.
Yeah. Let's see. Corey Canan from Daft Undraft, I don't know, said, ending on a bummer. I was told by an NFC scout that Ohio State all-class safety Caleb Downs had a couple of issues flagged during his medical. Nobody expected him to test this week anyway, so it flew a bit under the radar. However, I was told that Downs was flagged with a partially torn meniscus this week. This is not a serious concern, but also being flagged with a potentially degenerative ACL. Yeah, I mean, it's a concern, certainly, but, that's not a career-ending injury. It might affect him along the way. I wouldn't allow – I'd still draft him high. He's an incredible talent.
Yeah, I mean, the meniscus is a non-issue. I mean, they could fix that, and he'll be fine, in a few weeks. The ACL, I mean, what, a potentially degenerative ACL?
Yeah.
Okay. So you got an ACL that may tear one day.
Yeah.
So does everybody.
I know. It just seems, I'm not going to let that stop me from drafting a great player. I get it. You'd rather have a player with no injury risk, but there's no such thing. This is football.
Dude, when I went to the combine, I'll tell you a story.
Yeah.
I had got flagged by a couple teams. In fact, your Bengals were one of the teams that did it. Dude, your Bengals had they were obsessed over the medicals, dude.
Yeah.
And so I went to the combine, did all my stuff. I got flagged and had to go back I don't know, 3 weeks later to Indy. I had to get on a plane and fly back to the combine site.
Really?
For a medical re-eval. So I had to do the whole medical thing over again for some of these teams that had flagged this stuff. So they had spotted a potential stress fracture in my foot. And so they kept, they did these x-rays, blah, blah, blah. I mean, I'm like, my foot feels fine.
Yeah. So what came out of it? You never had a stress? What was your injury with the Vikings?
Well, that was my arm, but that was not the concern for the re-evaluation.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I never really had any issue with my foot. Now, however, fast forward a couple of years, I did end up breaking that foot and having to put a screw in. So they saw something early. I mean, it didn't affect me getting drafted or whatever, and I played fine my first couple of years. But it did eventually. I got a screw put in it. I have the screw in my foot to this day. Yeah. That your Bengals spotted many, many years ago.
Wow. Who did the Bengals draft in that third round? Do you remember?
I don't, dude. I don't.
I'm going to look it up right now.
Oh, was it Keywan Ratliff? He was fourth round.
The Browns drafted Charlie Fry, 13 picks ahead of you.
I think it was Ratliff, wasn't it?
Let's see. Who did the Bengals draft in the third round? Chris Henry.
Okay.
3 picks after you, Chris Henry. Who was good, but then obviously tragedy struck. Who was the other Ohio State player drafted in your round?
Claret.
That's right. Of course you know that. All right. Very good. One thing here that I just looked up because we got a message in the chat, and it's a good job out of Baby Tips for Dad 101. He mentions that Tytus Howard played for our new offensive line coach, which I didn't put together. He's right. George Warhop was the Texans offensive line coach in 2022. So that probably played a role in the Browns doing something here, his familiarity with Tytus Howard. So good job by Baby Tips for Dad 101. Fatal Cheeseburger says the new tackle is getting 60% of the guard's entire payroll. B. Skrills, I wasn't expecting the Texans to get David Montgomery. Yeah, Texas traded another offensive lineman to the Lions for David Montgomery. Did you see that deal?
I did not.
I think you're going to want to take Jahmyr Gibbs number 1 overall in fantasy leagues this year.
Oh, yeah.
He was already great with David Montgomery. Let's see. Brian says there are tons of current and upcoming receivers. Grab a tackle. False Bandicott said, love some Bull and Fox. Miss this being my drive home every day.
Well, you can still drive home to us. You just got to listen to this, on your podcast on the way home.
Right. That's right. You can do it that way. Corey 808, unlikely, but what would it take for the Browns to move up from 24 to get a solid offensive lineman and a wide receiver? I mean, it depends how far they wanted to move up. I don't see them doing that. I think they're more likely to trade down from 6 than trade up from 24. What do you think?
You said trade down?
I said they're more likely to trade down from 6
for sure,
than trade up from 24.
1,000%.
Yeah.
I could see them trading down into the, that 12, 13, 15 to 15 range, something like that, and picking up some extra, whether it be a second round pick.
I'll read this because I know you talk about this stuff, so you might want to advise. Jim Eagle 5509 says, Dustin, when you stopped drinking, did you use a support group or did you do it on your own? Congrats on the sobriety.
Well, I mean, I don't know if I've put this out there that much, but I went to treatment.
Yeah.
And since I got back from treatment, I've been very lucky, dude. I've got a great group of support guys around me, but I do believe in AA. I don't actively participate, but I do believe in it. If you're thinking about it and you want to go that route, highly recommend it. It works.
Yes, I agree. I went to Gamblers Anonymous for a year, and I for whatever reason stopped going and stopped gambling anyway. But I did think it was great at the time, and I would highly recommend.
There's lots of help out there, guys. If you're going through it, I mean, just hit me up.
Yeah,
send me a private message.
No doubt about it. Whatever you're going through, there is help for whatever you're dealing with. Okay, on a much lighter note, Cavs back in action tonight against the Pistons. Dustin, they played a wild game. Was it Friday against the Pistons?
That was the game that went to overtime?
Yeah, was it Friday or Saturday? I can't remember. It's all a blur now at this point.
I don't remember. I think it was Friday.
Yeah.
I think it was Friday. Yeah, it was Friday night.
Yeah, and they lose in overtime 122-119. They only scored 5 points in the OT. Crazy at the end of the fourth quarter. Obviously, they foul, but it ends up they were trying to foul, so they couldn't get a 3-point shot. Instead, it ended up being 3 free throws. They tie it.
Why do you foul like at half court though? Like I mean,
yeah, I don't know. That was not great. That was a mistake by Jalen Tyson.
And the coach should be held responsible here too, because like if the ball is inbounded and the guy's got the momentum going toward, like you can't foul the guy. I mean, you got to catch him in the backcourt before they have any ability to get. You don't want to give the ref the ability to think that he's in the shooting motion. Like, come on.
They played that game obviously without Harden, without Donovan Mitchell, without Keon Ellis. They lose in overtime, even though
Jared Allen fouled out there at the end, so he didn't get to play in overtime.
Who didn't?
Jared Allen fouled out.
Jared Allen, right. And Cade Cunningham fouled out as well for Detroit. Evan Mobley misses a 3 at the buzzer. The Cavs did bounce back against a bad Nets team and win 106-102. The Nets are just absolutely awful. James Harden did play in this one at 22 points, 9 rebounds, and 8 assists. He was great in this game. Evan Mobley at 17. Jared Allen had 20. Sam Merrill at 15. So big game for the starting lineup at this one. And Dennis Schroeder had 12 and 5 off the bench. So the Cavs 38-24 starting the day. They have lost 3 of 5. They're in the 4 seed in the East, but they're now 3.5 back of Boston. Boston is playing really well.
They played great last night. Didn't Jaylen Brown and Tatum not play last night against the Bucks?
Yeah.
I think they were both out, and they still took care of business. So, yeah, the Celtics worry me a little bit. I'm going on Sunday.
They smoked the Bucks.
We play the Celtics on Sunday.
Yeah.
In Cleveland.
Yeah. Obviously, when you look at the Celtics, with Jason Tatum, he's not come back yet.
No. Oh, sorry, not Tatum. Yeah. Brown didn't play, and one of their other good players was out last night.
Let's see.
I didn't mean to say Tatum.
Yeah, I was confused there. I was like, did he come back? And I wasn't sure. Was it Kobe White? No, Derek White, not Kobe White. I don't know. Well, whatever. The Celtics are playing great basketball. That's the bottom line. And Giannis was back for Milwaukee, so it wasn't like they were out without him. He played 25 minutes, had 19 and 11, but the Celtics won by 27 points in that game. So the Cavs play Detroit again tonight. This time the game is at home. The Cavs, let's see, I believe they're a 2.5-point favorite. Yeah, there we got it on the page there. Over under 227.5. So we'll see. I don't know what Donovan Mitchell's status is for tonight.
He's out.
He's definitely out.
That's what I saw this morning.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But obviously James Harden is back, and he played last game, and so we'll see. Cavs have dropped 3 of 5. Want to remind you folks that the Cavs are battling for home court in the Eastern Conference, and BetRivers is giving you a bonus bet to use on the Cavs in this stretch run. Now until March 15th, so you got a little less than 2 weeks. Go to your BetRivers app in Ohio. You got to be in Ohio, and use the code ATB223 to get a $10 bonus bet. That code again is ATB223. You see the code there right there below me on the screen. Available only in Ohio. Must be 21. Eligible players only. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right. Thanks, everybody, for joining us today. I'll be on tomorrow. If you have any oddball questions or whatever. I'll be doing a Q&A session tomorrow. Dustin back with me live on Thursday. As it'll be, by next week, it's going to be free agency, and that'll be brewing. So we'll keep you on top of all of it. Thanks to Levi and Alex for producing today, and thanks to all of you for watching and listening. We'll talk to you next time. Where else but right here? It's Bull and Fox in the Bullpen, brought to you by Bet Rivers. See you, everybody.
See you.